All right, welcome to another episode of Closers Are Losers. Our co-host, Matt Ryder, our CEO, has lost his voice. The man has spoken so much this last week that he has lost his voice. He is home in bed being nursed by his great wife and children, just feeding him the chicken noodle soup. Matt, we love you out there. So in his stead is the myth, the man, the legend, the man from behind the scenes, our Chief Revenue Officer, Marco Cortesi, in our Melbourne office. How are you doing, Mr. Australia? What's going on over there?
I would say you stuck with me today.
Hey, is that a Cleveland Cavaliers hat?
Yes.
Oh, so you're a Cleveland Cavaliers basketball fan in the Melbourne, Australia office. Okay.
No, okay, let's say that I'm a huge LeBron fan. So it's like,
he doesn't play for Cleveland. He plays for Los Angeles Lakers.
Used
to. Okay, that's valid. You used to play for the Miami Heat too.
Yeah.
So we've got an important conversation here. We have a lot of business owners on here. We have a lot of coaches, consultants, a lot of sales leadership, sales management. And of course, we have individual salespeople that follow us on the show every single episode. But we wanted to come with something different today. Now, Marco's skill set, this is kind of a crazy thing I want to talk to everybody. So Marco, like 3 years ago, was a salesperson, became a client, crushed it the next year, made a little bit over $1 million in commissions in his sales job. So we're like, we want this guy to work with us. Okay. We made him the Chief Revenue Officer over pretty much all things sales. And then we had all these outside agencies, marketing agencies doing our marketing. It was kind of hit and miss and all this stuff. And Marco was like, you know what? I'm going to have the company buy us some courses on marketing. And I'm just going to go lock myself in the office for like a couple of months. And I'm just going to figure out how to do all this myself. And I have to be real with everybody. I didn't believe he could do it because I've never met a salesperson that could all of a sudden just learn marketing and just crush it at marketing. I've quite literally never seen that in my life. They might be decent at marketing, but can they really run and scale a company's marketing? And by gosh, he did it. He locked himself up, not even 2 months. It seemed like it was 2 or 3 weeks. And he comes out, and then all of a sudden our marketing costs get slashed in half. We start scaling. Our revenues probably quadrupled in about 4 months, and they keep going up every single month. And now this man is like one of the best ever at sales and one of the best at marketing, which I don't know how your brain works. I couldn't do it, right? Yeah, obviously, my sales background, skill set, but marketing, no bueno. So walk us through how that evolution of learning how to market, because there's a lot of business owners on here, a lot of salespeople that want to brand themselves and market as well. Walk us through how that evolution happened in your mind.
Yeah, the most important things is this one is you have to know, from my experience, is you have to know your consumer better than everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to be a sales guy. So in terms of marketing for a sales company, I know every stage of 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 40 to 50, 50 to 100, right? Yeah. So when it has to do to connect at the level of emotion, because even marketing is an emotional connection, right? I know where they're at. So I know where they're at. I know what they use in terms of what they generally consume when they want to get that.
You know how they think.
Exactly right. I know how they think. I know they utilize platforms, which is really important. That's why we utilize the platform that we use. So understanding how they interact with marketing and how I did interact with marketing, how I got into this course is really the basic of making these things connected to the sales. Plus, we got something which is really unique. A lot of company have the marketing versus sales.
Yeah.
With me, that is not, because I'm a sales guy. I'm never gonna say I'm a marketer. I'm a sales guy. I just had to do it because it was necessary, and I just put the hard work in it.
Yeah.
Right? So my job is always it's not about creating leads, but it's about creating sales.
Yeah, that's the end result. Who cares about leads? It's like it's results, right? Like the leads become sales. That's your job. Yeah.
Right. So I feel that most business owners are focused on hiring a marketing company, make them create leads. Yeah. And after hiring a sales team and convert the leads into sales. Rather, the way how I perceive it is let's get a team of people all together and let's make some sales.
Yeah.
So let's go. That's how I do it, and how we do it here. And that's what I advise you if you're watching this. Go to your sales team and ask them what's the best leads that you want, and give them the best leads that they want, and get them. It sounds.
Well, it's so true because, you know, outside marketing agencies, they don't understand your brand like you do. Let's just all be real. Like every outside marketing agency, because, you know, we've been in business now for 4 years. And Marco took over the marketing probably a year ago, if that, maybe a little bit over. But every outside marketing agency, there were some better than others, granted, right? I give them, there was one that was actually pretty good. But they just don't understand your brand. Most of them don't. They have no idea. They might be like a marketing agency for specific niches where they're really good at, but then they go outside those niches and they just don't have the experience. They don't understand the customer, like Marco talks about. They don't understand how they think the customer thinks that you're trying to attract. And so it's like you spend all this money because they don't know what they're really targeting. And so once you guys learn, like once you guys get into like, you know, marketing training and courses, and you start to bring your teams internal, which we would suggest, because once you start training your people internally how to market it, you can control how your brand appears. You can really control everything. Now, I know that's hard sometimes in the beginning. If you're like a solopreneur and you've got just a few people on your team, it just depends on the size of your company. But as you start to grow, you really have to bring things in-house, which we have. We pretty much have almost everything in-house at this point.
That's a big one on a touch base. Is like having everything in-house give you a level of control on minimum details that a company that works with 30, 40 clients, you don't have. Like the only things we don't have in-house is content repurposing, because Mandy is probably one of the best person to do it.
We have a great outside agency that does our content repurposing, and it's even cheaper for us to use them than it is to bring it in-house. And
exactly right. But also the level of expertise that she has on doing particularly that, it just, and she doesn't have many clients either, right?
Probably one of the only outside agencies we've ever used that actually did more than she said she could do. Like, she delivered even 3 times more than what she said she can do. So very impressive.
Exactly right. But for the rest, I like to be in control of things. And if I want to deploy LinkedIn, which we do have, then I like to go and study LinkedIn. I study the platform, study how the things interact. Don't see what other people are doing, but create things on my own. That's a big one. Is so far we haven't copied anything from nowhere else. We just done things the way how we think it was best for the sales and best for the customer, because we deliver value at finest. All the reels you guys see from Jeremy, all the content is out there, the lives is all hard work of Jeremy showing up for people and bringing value and get that value in front of a sales call and be able to convert them. So that's the main things. Also, if you're a business owner right now watching this, is like the biggest question that you should ask is like, if you're not getting leads, if you're not getting sales, is how much value am I putting out there for people to believe that I'm an expert?
Yeah. No, it's so true. I mean, that could be any company that follows us right now. You could be the head of a Fortune 500 company right now, or Fortune 1000. You could be an SMB type of company. You could be like a small company that has just a few employees. But it's the content you're putting out there in the market that is either going to, first of all, if you don't have content out in the market, just nobody knows you. Like it's the same thing. Like when I first started the company, 4 years ago by myself, before I knew Marco, before I knew Matt, our CEO, and everybody else. And I started with my assistant, Beth, and like a part-time salesperson. There was no content out there. Right. I did a couple of webinars and maybe some Facebook ads and made some sales from that and got clients from that and got results and testimonials. But that's just a small sliver of the market. Right. But when you get out there, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter how big or small your company is, and you start creating content where people see you everywhere. One good thing that I read from a book by Grant Cardone, even though our sales methodologies are probably polar opposite, as you know, Marco, because you've worked you used to Grant. Now you're my business partner. So, our methodologies are completely opposite. But one good thing I read from his book, I think 10X or something, is he talked about how he had his company. He started in like 1997 or 1998. I could be wrong by a couple of years. I'm not sure. But it was really like 10 or 15 years before really people started to know who he was, because he wasn't omnipresent. And he talks about in his book, he's like, I just started getting on social media and I was just in everybody's face all the time. I was omnipresent. So when they would get on Facebook, they would see me on Facebook. When they'd get on Instagram, they'd see me on Instagram. When they get on LinkedIn, they'd see me on LinkedIn. When they Pinterest, they'd see me on Pinterest. It's like I was just everywhere. And people were telling me just to post once a day. I was posting 6 times a day. I was going live 3 times a day. While people were ever telling me that you only go live once a week. And so I took that in my mind. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Because if you have great content, if you have great products, if you have great services, no matter your industry, and you're omnipresent and your products and services are great, you are going to grow very rapidly because people know who you are. You can have a really bad product and service and be omnipresent and grow. Or you can have really great products and services and not be omnipresent and you're not going anywhere. It doesn't matter how great your services are.
You know why, Jeremy, though? Like, you know why people cannot do that? And I learned this by working with many entrepreneurs, and I scale so far 2 businesses from 0 to 2 million a month with the more knowledge that I have, and 1 business, which is the marketing company we have, from to 0 to 350K a month in 6 months, right? Is this one? Some business owners, it always comes to salesmen. Like it's just, if you don't know how to sell, and if you don't have a team that knows how to sell, you're never gonna get out of that. So you're always gonna be the sales manager of your business.
Yeah, you're never gonna go anywhere.
Jeremy is not the sales manager of SoundCloud. I just want to put it out there for people to think that is real. Like it doesn't work in that way. It's like we know that our guys are good to sell. We do have a sales manager. It's really brilliant, really great. We provide sales training, yes, but it's like they know how to sell the right way. So therefore, his focus is not, are we closing the deals today?
Yeah.
His focus is like, hey, what can I build next? So some business owners are stuck into the kind of turmoil of like, hey, I do the sales better than my sales manager. Of course you do.
They're doing everything, right? They're doing the sales, they're doing the marketing, they're doing the fulfillment. They're doing, like, you can't do everything like that. You just can't scale.
No, absolutely. So you have to find a way of selling. You can pick. Let's say we are in here. Our is pretty good. If you want to double the sales, or if you want to lose sales.
Supposedly our methodology is good. I don't know.
We just got 150,000 testimonials. So
we testimonials out of any sales training company in the United States. We've been in business 4 years.
We all pay them. Yeah,
they're all paid actors. All 10,000 of those testimonials. We paid millions of dollars for the paid Facebook testimonials.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you is like, fix the problem, right? Fix the problem, move on. Fix the problem with the sales, move on. Because sales is the problem that a lot of company has, and they can't fix it, and therefore they're always stuck at the revenue that they have.
They don't know what they don't know, right? They're still using old school sales techniques, triggering resistance, and they just think that that's just the way it is. They don't know what's out there, right? A lot of companies that come to us like have no idea what we do until we actually start doing it with them. And they're like, oh my gosh, we've been stuck in the same revenue going down for the last 3 years. Now we're like quadrupled our revenue in the last 90 days. Like, we don't even believe it's possible.
Funny enough, like I was doing sales training last night. Like I was watching your sales training because I still watch sales training.
Watching like an inner circle call?
Yeah. No, I was watching actually a call that you've done, an implementation that you've done with one of our clients now. At the time wasn't a client. And you keep asking them because you keep saying, like, I want to learn emotional questions, like about how you mean by emotional question. It's like, I want to find pain points. What are pain points? So at the end, is this one is like, it comes to a point, is people want to learn emotional selling. It's like, dude, it's just selling, right? It's just foundational selling. That means that if you don't have the right foundation of understanding that if those people don't do anything about their problems, they don't move, you're never going to get nowhere. It's not about emotional, logical selling. That doesn't exist anymore. Oh, you're stuck in the 90s. It's about kind of like feeling a connection with the prospect. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's about building the gap from where they are compared to where they want to be. The bigger the gap, because of your questionability and how you're bridging from question to question, right? The better your tonality is, which we teach all that in our virtual training and group training for our clients, the bigger the gap you build in the prospect's mind. You don't build the gap by telling them what their problems are, because that's going to go in one ear out the other, because you're biased. You're the salesperson. You can only build the gap by the skilled questions you learn, asking at the right time with the right tonality that triggers them to start seeing several other problems that they didn't even realize they had. And that makes you very valuable in their eyes.
Yeah, but Okay, so there's also this, right? Like I've been doing the inner circle. I'm actually being blessed to coach people now, right? The inner circle session. And when he's asked to do with the objection handling, what I realized is this one, and I'm gonna kind of like put it out there. If you don't know how to ask question, don't be bothered of objection handle.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know how to ask question for understand the problem of a person, don't even get to the objection handling, go on customer service.
Yeah.
Because like you're not gonna have anything to fight for. They are fighting there, fighting quote unquote, because they have to stand on their own problems.
Yeah.
So they're all about the whole things about objection handling in his essence is not you convincing them that they gotta pay.
Yeah.
Is them convincing themselves on why they should resolve a problem.
Yeah.
But if they don't know about the problem or they don't know the magnitude of the problem, then you just slapping someone around for $5,000.
Yeah, or whatever it is. Yeah, you're not convincing them to pay. You're exactly right. You're getting them to convince themselves to actually solve the problem and get where they want to go, right? Because a lot of times subconsciously they want to do that. And that's why they're on the call. That's why they took the call. That's why they're listening. But we have to move that from their subconscious to their conscious mind, where it's on their mind all the time and they feel so much pain. And so, Matt talks about internal tension. They feel so much internal tension, not sales pressure. That's massively different. Sales pressure does not trigger people to want to buy. It triggers them to want to get away from you. Or if they buy, they have buyer's remorse and cancel most of the time. Internal pressure is brought about by you getting the prospect to feel the internal pressure of staying in the status quo. The problems stay the same and nothing ever changes. Now, when they feel that level of pain, they will do anything to get rid. They will throw money at you. They will thank you for allowing them to pay for your products and services to get them out of that pain and get them the result they want. Literally, people will throw money at you. You don't have to compete with 7 different companies and chop your price by 30 or 40%. That's just old school sales stuff that doesn't work, doesn't really help you scale your company, period. Now, let's go back to this marketing. Oh, keep going.
No, I want to give one tip away, because if you're watching this podcast, like the most important things is get something away, try, put it in your routine or put it in your sales process, come back, ask Jeremy if it works, and we can see if we can help you out. But when you go down to the objection handling path, there is always the point where it's like, when the way how it starts is that's not a problem. Like they give you the objection, you say that's not a problem. Money aside, for example, if it's a money objections, money aside, would you do it?
Yeah.
This yes. After you say why, when you say why, they give you the tangible information that you need for them to fight or why they should resolve the problem. So if someone say money aside, will you do it? Why? Oh, because it's going to be life changing. They quote unquote reframes. I don't know where people get their terms. Everything is turned psychological, but it's so easy. But what they're fighting for is to change their life. So they either got to change their life now, or they're never going to change it. So that's how you start talking them into it. Do it.
Yeah, 100%. You're getting them. It's self-persuasion is what you're talking about. So let's go back to the marketing side. So maybe give the listeners, as we wrap up here in the next 5-10 minutes, maybe give them like 3 things that they as a company, or let's say if they're in marketing, like maybe 3 main things, because we only got a couple minutes here before the training call. A couple things that they can do to really take their marketing to the next level. Just basic overview.
Yep. Number 1 is understand your consumer. So always send out surveys of like, how have you helped them to your clients? So understand first your clients, understand your consumer. So how have you helped them? What kind of status quo were they kind of trapped into before to jump in your program?
That's good.
And what were they using for trying to solve that problem? In sales, people read books, but the implementation, that's historically, the retention from a book is 3% of what you read.
Yeah.
Right. It's really difficult.
It's a really good book that has good advice. Most of them don't.
So if you want to waste time reading for a month a book and you retain 3%, go ahead with that. So I'm not telling you. The second part is positioning. So you have to be positioned strongly. When I make it simple, NPQ is a methodology, right? But it's been built against a method, which is the old way of selling.
Sure.
So you need to have something unique. Yeah. You can't be having stuff that everybody has.
It's a new opportunity.
Exactly right. Is a new things that evolves and is against something old.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that now you gotta go and do that's the new way of cleaning your house. Like you know, but like you need to have like something more sophisticated. The third one is like be patient, because either one things that we always spoke with Jeremy, and he touched up on the start. He's like, we didn't believe in that. Like I always knew that we were gonna get to where we are right now. I don't know where we're gonna get into the 5 years, but I knew that we were gonna get here. Yeah. But everything comes with time, because if things are done really fast, which we grew really fast, but a really healthy
35% month every single month.
So
last year we grew by about 137% per month.
Exactly right. So it's like when you grow that fast, at some point you're gonna lose the most important things, which is like, how can I deliver to my consumer the best product ever? Which we've been lucky that we never run into that problem, because we are really consumer-based people. Like we live for our clients. That's all we care.
We'll slow down the growth of the business to make sure the clients are
exactly right. So we act, so most of the times, to be honest, and I think it was last month, we actively decide to have less marketing in terms of like put less ad spend. So we cut ad spend because we wanted to fulfill our clients even a better way.
And we too many clients coming into our group training, so we had to bring on other sales.
So right now we offer the double the group session for the same price.
Yeah.
All
right, you got to go. You got an inner circle training call. I'm going to let you hop off. I'll finish with everybody. Marco, you're the myth, the man, the legend. Troy, off the Australia office. I will see you tomorrow. Actually, I'll call you. Okay, man. You're the man. All right, everybody. Thanks, Mark. We're going to have Marco jump off. Now, you want to start getting an introduction to what we do here at Seventh. The best way for you to do that is to go into our Facebook group. So you can go to www.salesrevolution.pro. So go to salesrevolution.pro. Right when you join, somebody on our team will message you a free training. We don't even charge you for it, called the NEPQ 101 mini course. It's a breakdown of neuro-emotional persuasion questions. That alone is going to probably help you sell more than what you're doing right now. And we go live in the Facebook group 3 to 4 times a week, different Q&As, different trainings, different breakdowns of sales processes, different subject matter trainings. We got, I think, over 30-some-thousand people in that group now that we started a little bit over about a year ago or something like that. So go to salesrevolution.pro, join that for free. You can get a little hors d'oeuvres, little nibbles. You want more advanced training like our clients have after that. So those are just nibbles and hors d'oeuvres. Then just message us in there and somebody can reach out. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Hey guys, if you enjoyed these, here's another you can watch right over here, Join our free Sales Revolution group. Click the link below, join us, and we're going to help you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon.